Hey everybody, it's Mrs. Lee. I'm thrilled to do another math video with you today. We are going to spend our time talking about word problems in math today. And the thing you need to know about word problems is that there are different types, okay? So today we're going to talk about the problem type called join problems. So let me switch over to my document camera and we'll get started. Okay, there we go. Let me move my arm out of the way, get my paper straight. All right. So like I said, today we're going to spend our time talking about the join problems. And you can think about what the word join means. When you join things, you have something else, and you put them together. You join them. And in the join problems, there are different parts that are missing. Today we're going to talk about the missing sum. You know that the sum is the answer to an addition problem. So that's what we are going to find today. So let's get started by looking at our problem. In this right here, let me take a step back. Let's talk about this and then we're going to talk about our problem. This right here is kind of what we're going to look at as to what's going on in the problem. We'll have a start number. Then we'll have something that makes this number change. What makes this number different? It's change. By change, I actually mean the action of the problem, okay? And then from there, we will get our final answer, which will be our sum. Okay, so I just want you to know that the change is the action. It's what's going on in the problem. So now, let's transition to our problem, and let's get going. Pete picked 214 apples. Anne gave Pete 95 more apples. How many apples does Pete have altogether? So I'm going to start by taking my question and I'm going to turn my question into a statement because then I get really focused on what I actually need to answer at the end of my problem. So again, my question says, how many apples does Pete have altogether? I'm just going to change that to Pete has blank apples. That's what we're going to figure out. And again, this is what I need to be able to state at the end of my problem because that's what my question is asking. So let's pick out the important information in our problem. We know that Pete picked 214 apples and gave him 95 more, and we have to figure out how many he has now altogether. So in doing this, there is a diagram that I like to use in solving my math problems, especially looking at the different problem types. I'm going to make 3 circles. And again, when I do this, I am not trying to be an artist. I know my circles aren't perfect, but I know that I have a start. Then I know that I have a change. And then I know that I will have a result. So I like to use this to help me figure out my problem. So let's talk about what is my start in this problem. Well, the start is 214 apples. The change or the action is that Anne gives Pete 95 more. So it's a plus 95. That's the change that's happening. And I have to find the result, okay? So in order to do this, let's solve it. I'm going to add these two numbers, 214 plus 95. So always when you are doing your addition, let me remind you to always be neat so that you are lining up your place values correctly so that your addition will come out correct, okay? 5 plus 4, 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. I put the 0 and carry the 1, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So we have figured out now, based on the information in the problem and following our diagram and doing the math, that Pete has 309 apples. That is the result. Okay? Good job. Let's try another one. Here we go. This time, we're still doing a join problem, but the change, the action, and I'm going to write that word again, action. That's the number that's missing. It may also be called an add-in. That's just a number that you're adding. So we have our start number. The change is what we have to figure out, and we'll know our sum. So let's look right here, okay? Sandy had 214 dimes. Mike gave her some more. How many is some? I don't know. That's the action. That's what I got to figure out. Now she has 309 dimes. How many dimes did Mike give her? So here we go again, everybody. I'm going to take my question and I'm going to turn it into a statement. Mike gave her blank dimes. That's what I want to be able to say at the end of my problem. That's what I know I'm solving for. So let's head back to our problem and look at what we are told. Sandy had 214 dimes. Mike gave her some more. Now she has 309. So let's look at our diagram. Again, I know my circles are not going to be perfect, but I have three parts that I'm looking for: the start, the change or the action, what's changing in my problem, and my result. For this problem type, I am trying to find the change. I know the start. What'd she have at the beginning? 214. Now she gets some more. I don't know how many more, but she ends with 309. So how can I figure out how many dimes Mike gave her? Are you thinking? I can do it through subtraction. I could do it through a number line. Let's talk about it. Okay, so look, first of all, if we're going to do subtraction, I want to know, here's her end amount, the result. I'm going to take away the one she already had, and the answer to that will tell me how many Mike gave her. I'm going to come back and do the subtraction in just a minute. Right now, let's look at this on a number line. The cool thing about a number line is that you are in charge of it. You can do anything to a number line that you want. So since this is my number line, I'm going to start it not at 0, but at 214. And I know that I want to get to the end, to the result, which is 309. So I'm going to move up my number line with making some jumps on my number line so that I move from 214 to 309. Now for me, it's friendly for me to do a jump of plus 6 because that gets me to 220. Okay? I know also, using my math skills, to get to 200, from 220 to the number 300 would be a plus what? Can you think of it? Plus 80 gets me to 300. Now, to get from 300 to 309 would be a plus 9. So now if I add 80 plus 6 plus 9, I get my answer of how many dimes Mike gave Sandy. So let's do that. 80 plus 6 is 86. 86 plus 9 takes us to 95. So Mike gave her 95 dimes. Let's now do this through subtraction, where again, we took the end result. We're taking away how many she had from the start, and my answer will tell me how many Mike gave her. Starting with my ones, 9 minus 4 is 5. Then I go to my tens place. 0 minus 1, I need to borrow over here from the hundreds. 2 and 10. 10 minus 1 is 9, and then 2 minus 2 is 0. So I get my same answer if I do it through subtraction. But this time, we found out that the change was 95 dimes. Sandy had 214. Mike gave her 95. And now we're ending with 309. Okay, let's do one more. This time in the join problem, look what's missing. The starting number. Yep, I got to find out what the starting number is. This means if I follow along this that I'll know the action and I'll know the end, the result. But I have to find my starting number. Okay, so let's read together. Bob got 95 jelly beans, so he got them. And now he has 402 jelly beans. How many jelly beans did Bob have to begin with? There's my question. How many did Bob have to begin? And begin kind of means the same thing as start. So that is really a key word for me there. How many jelly beans did Bob have to begin with? I'm going to change that to Bob had blank jelly beans to begin. Okay, so this lets me know my statement that this is what I have to answer. I have to be able to say this at the end of my problem. That helps me stay focused with what I'm solving. So let me go to my diagram, which also helps me stay focused when I work on the problem types. I have a start, I have a change that happens in the problem or action, and then I have a result. So let's plug these numbers in and see what happens. So I know, since this is an example, I'm missing the start number. Bob got 95 jelly beans. Okay, so something plus 95 takes him to 402. As the result. So what could this be? I don't know. Let's figure it out. I could take the 402 that he had at the end and subtract the 95 that he got, and that will let me know how many he had to start with. Okay? I can also do this one on a number line. Look, let me show you real quick. Remember, a number line is mine. I can do anything to it I want. This time I want my number line to start with, I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to start with 95. And I'm going to take my number line all the way up to 402. Okay? Here we go. And those are the two numbers that I know right now in my problem. Okay? So 95, to me, it gets friendly to do a plus. What do you think? A plus 5? Because that takes me to 100. From 100 to 400 would be a plus 300. So now on my number line, from 100 to 400, I did a big jump of plus 300, and then from 400 to 402 is a plus 2. Got it? So all together, using my number line as a strategy, I have 300 plus 5 plus 2, 305 plus 2, 307. So that lets me know that Bob started with 307 jelly beans. Let's see if our subtraction shows us the same thing. So 2 minus 5 in my ones place. I cannot do that. I need to borrow. There's a 0 there. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to make it a 3. My 0 becomes a 10, and then I can borrow from the 10. This becomes a 12, and this becomes a 9. 12 minus 5 is 7. 9 minus 9 is 0. 3 minus, it's like there's a 0 there. 3 minus 0 is 3. I get my same answer whether I do subtraction or I do my number line. So this lets me know that Bob had 307 to begin with, and we found our start number. He had 307, then he got 95, and now he has 402. So as I sign off today, I want you to remember a couple things. There are 3 different types of join problems where you're missing either the result, where you're missing the change, or where you're missing the start. And you have to figure out that number. Did you notice as we went through and read the problem types and solved them, as long as you have 2 of the pieces of information, you can find the third one. You can find the one that's missing. So way to go, math friends. Hang in there. Keep practicing your math. You're doing great, and I look forward to doing another video with you really soon.